It happens. NASA reveals plans to develop nuclear-powered spacecraft. It certainly is the era of modern technology. Science has been expanding its reach over outer space since time immemorial. We have sent astronauts to the moon a couple of times, and there have also been efforts made to send them even to Mars. The only issue at hand has been the time it takes for one to reach Mars. But did you know that NASA is now trying to develop a nuclear-powered spacecraft that can reduce the time duration exponentially? To know more, do make sure to stay tuned until the end of this video. Without further delay, let's jump right into the heart of this video. Only robotic explorers have been to Mars thus far, with no need to return to Earth. Waiting for the best planetary alignment for the return trip would require people to stay on Mars for more than a year, extending the mission to more than 3 years. As it is, the longer it takes astronauts to get there and stay there, the more at risk they are. That's why scientists are researching ways to shorten travel times. Ultra-Safe Nuclear Technologies, or USNC Tech, based in Seattle, has presented a solution: a nuclear thermal propulsion, or NTP, engine capable of transporting humans from Earth to Mars in just 3 months. NASA is considering nuclear-enabled transportation systems to permit shorter-stay surface missions in order to keep the round-trip crewed mission length to a maximum of 2 years. The systems would take advantage of the ideal planetary alignment for a low-energy transit on one leg of the journey, and the improved performance of the new technology for the higher-end transit on the other leg. An unmanned spacecraft can now travel in 7 months, while a crewed journey is estimated to take at least 9 months. Nuclear-powered rockets, according to Michael Leeds, Director of Engineering at USNC Tech, would be twice as powerful and efficient as today's chemical engines, allowing them to travel further and quicker while using less fuel. According to him, NASA wants to get there faster in order to reduce the crew's stay in orbit. This would decrease their exposure to space radiation, which can lead to health issues such as radiation sickness, an increased lifelong risk of cancer, impacts on the central nervous system, and degenerative illnesses as well. It would also reduce the mission's total danger. As it is said, the longer one stays in space, the more chances there are for things to go wrong. This is the main reason behind this spacecraft development. A nuclear reactor generates heat from uranium fuel in an NTP system. That thermal energy heats a liquid propellant, most often liquid hydrogen, which expands into a gas and is fired out the back end, providing thrust. NTP rockets deliver double the thrust per unit of propellant as chemical rockets, or double the miles per gallon, to put it another way. This means that astronauts may go to Mars and back in less than 2 years using this technology. However, finding a uranium fuel that can resist the extreme temperatures within a nuclear thermal engine is one of the most difficult tasks. Is a nuclear option safe? Shorter missions would reduce the crew's exposure to space radiation, but the radiation emitted by the spacecraft's nuclear reactor remains a worry. The architecture of the rocket would reduce this. The space between the crew and the reactor acts as a buffer, and any NTP design would put the living quarters at the other end of the rocket, away from the reactor. NTP spacecraft would not take off immediately from Earth to safeguard people on the ground. Instead, it would be launched into orbit by a standard chemical rocket, and only then would its nuclear reactor be activated. Because blasts and thermal radiation cannot travel into a vacuum, it could cause minimal harm once in orbit. If calamity happened and the rocket's reactor blew up, the fragments would take tens of thousands of years to reach Earth, or any other planet. The radioactive substance would have naturally degraded to the point that it was no longer harmful by that moment. Although USNC Tech's current objective for a one-way voyage is 5 to 9 months, Eads believes that nuclear-powered technology might cut journeys from Earth to Mars to just 90 days. These shorter travel durations may bring up a plethora of possibilities. USNC Tech hopes to develop its technology for use by government entities such as NASA and the Department of Defense, as well as the commercial space market. While the majority of the engine runs at low temperatures, materials in direct contact with the reactor must be able to withstand temperatures of above 4,600 degrees Fahrenheit. NASA and the DOE have been collaborating with the industry to find a feasible solution, and industry will now begin developing preliminary concepts to address this challenge. The foundations of nuclear propulsion can permit robust and efficient exploration beyond the Moon, regardless of which propulsion system is ultimately chosen. To reduce risk and guide the Mars transport architecture, NASA will continue to research, test, and evaluate diverse propulsion technologies. This concludes pretty much everything about this new mission undertaken by NASA that can do wonders, both in the field of technology or otherwise. What do you think about the NTP? Do you think it's a reliable option for other space agencies to use and think through? Let us know all of what you're thinking in the comments section below. That's all for this video. Thanks for watching the video and have yourself a good day.